Hey, welcome back to Paris in My Pocket for round 2 of Is Paris Worth It? We're gonna hit some of the stuff we missed last time to let you know, are they worth it or aren't they worth it? And no, we're not gonna be talking about what's behind me right now. We'll talk about that at some point. If you want, you can leave a comment below. Do we wanna talk? I don't know. This is Paris in My Pockets. Is Paris Worth It? Part 2. Let's go. Atelier des Lumières is one of my favorite places in Paris. They bring paintings to life. It's not just like some slideshow. You're not just gonna be like looking around at art projected on the walls. It's like you're living inside the painting. It swoops underneath you, it swirls around you. They put a lot of work into creating an experience to music, as you can hear behind me. And it's an especially great treat if they happen to be showing an artist that you love. We're watching Cézanne before our eyes today, formed and reformed. There's a chance they could be showing something really cool while you're here as well. So be sure to check out Atelier des Lumières. If you're here for a week or 2 weeks, it's well worth a visit. I'm gonna go and enjoy the rest of the show now. It can be very easy and very worthwhile to lose yourself in this space. The show is on a bit of a loop. There's multiple presentations, usually multiple shows within. So as soon as you see the credits, like behind me right now, don't necessarily run out the door. Like it should last an hour. And as you go, I don't know, for me, this is like a really meditative experience. Obviously right now while I'm working, it's a little bit less so, but it's hard to resist getting pulled into it and just dropping my camera and ignoring the world. It's also very tempting, and you'll see a lot of people filming and taking photos as it goes through, but I guess, I mean, hypocritically as I film this right now, I would recommend it. It's really worthwhile. Just let it go, don't film, and just enjoy the show. From an artistry perspective, one of the things that I think is most fascinating about this is that it's artists making choices about artists' work. Like, how do you separate it and animate it, time it to the music? The artistry involved in making these, in and of itself, is something that's really impressive and worth seeing. So there's a good layering of artistry here that's, yeah, as you can tell, I like it. And of course, if you need to grab lunch after your time in Atelier des Lumières or any of these other locations, ParisMyPocket.com. My guide, everything. I've got like 2 spots that I love right over here, and coffee right over here. Lots of stuff that I love in this neighborhood, especially this neighborhood. ParisMyPocket.com. Go right now, buy my guide. It'll make your time in Paris 10 times better, I promise. Like, it's gonna be amazing. Anyway, speaking of which, let's go see what happens when you die in Paris. Père Lachaise, the largest cemetery inside of Paris. And one of my favorite fun facts was that when they made it, it wasn't inside Paris, and they had to convince everybody that they wanted to be buried here because it was cool to be buried here. And it is cool to be buried here, but you can only be buried here if you live here. So when I said, you know, what happens when you die in Paris, if you die here and you don't live here, I actually don't know what happens. Hopefully they send you home. Anyways, that's dark. Fitting though, we are in a cemetery. Père Lachaise is a wonderful spot to go. Is it worth it? Absolutely. If you're into cemeteries and like taking a moment to reflect on life, its brevity, and all that comes with that, then absolutely you should come here. But if you're here for 2 weeks, that's when I would definitely come here and wander around. Is Jim Morrison's grave worth it? We're about to find out. I would say don't necessarily put too much effort into any one particular grave, but if you are a huge fan of somebody, then yeah, you should go check them out. To me, not worth it. To a fan standing behind the camera right now, definitely worth it. And we're walking all the way through this thing right now just to find it for her. So don't let anybody tell you it ain't worth it. You know, me personally, I didn't know who Jim Morrison was until I moved here, and everybody asked me about his grave, which is weird. But I think coming to these places and actually walking around and seeing tombs that you have no idea who's in them, and often of artists who you do know, but they don't get this much attention, whatever. There's something generational about mourning and how, like, in 100 years, will anybody come to this grave? I don't know. Life is short and beautiful, and I want to appreciate it while I've got it. And these are the kinds of thoughts that pop into your head when you're walking around in a cemetery, and that's why you should come visit it. But Père Lachaise, especially in the fall when the leaves are changing, magnificent. The Pantheon, the final resting place of France's best and brightest. Is it worth it? In 2 out of 3 ways, yes it is. We're gonna talk about indoor, outdoor, and way up top. First off, the Pantheon from the outside is beautiful. It's amazing. Originally built as a church and then taken over by the Revolution, and then it's kind of passed hands once or twice. It's just a gorgeous structure. It's huge, it's imposing, it's wonderful to look at from the outside. From the inside, there is some nice stuff going on in there, like if the pendulum is up and running, which in my experience is kind of a 50-50. Some wonderful paintings and so forth, but honestly, like given all the stuff you could go in and see with all the art in the city, going inside might not necessarily be the best use of your time unless you're going to go upstairs. If you go all the way up to the top,
That is where the money is at. You can walk all the way around the outside of the top of this thing and get a really nice 360-degree view. It is timed on a tour, so you're not going to be able to wander around totally freely, but I highly recommend going up there if you need a view of the city. And you can also go watch, I've got a couple videos that feature that. One about this arrondissement, another one about views in the city. Maybe I only have one video about it. Anyways, the Pantheon, worth it from the outside, worth it from up top. Otherwise, don't worry about going inside. That part, not so worth it. One last thing to be aware of if you're looking at the Pantheon from the front, over on the left, there's this sneaky little church. It's Saint-Étienne-du-Mont. It is my top third, second favorite church in the city. It's amazing. And since you can't go into Notre Dame right now, you might as well go into Saint-Étienne-du-Mont right over here. You just go inside. Assuming that it's open, you'll see why. The way that they carved this thing out, it feels like a piece of art just walking through the middle of it. Anyways, it's one of my favorite churches. It's a nice quiet spot to go sit, contemplate life, and I don't know, it's just nice. Thanks to today's patron producer, of course, Walter Inman. So glad to have you here. And thanks to all my patrons for making this possible, for sending us out and making it, possible. I think it's impossible too many times. But thank you, really, genuinely, it means the world to me. The Luxembourg Gardens, totally worth it. I would say that the Medici fountain here is usually overcrowded with tourists, but they just finished redoing it. It's beautiful. You can hear them working on the Senate behind the camera right now. So it's a little bit noisy, but these gardens are expansive. They have a lot of secret pockets where there aren't people always crowding around here. So definitely take your time to explore. And anytime that it's warm enough to sit out here for long enough, it's the perfect spot for a picnic. There are chairs everywhere. The flowers change all the time. The leaves are beautiful in fall. This is probably top 2 favorite parks in Paris, but I'll have to tell you about the number 1 another time. The Palace of Versailles. Is it worth it? No, absolutely not. Well, yeah, okay, it's worth it in the right circumstances. If you have 2 weeks to kill, if you've got, an absolute hankering for an ostentatious amount of opulence, then yeah, it can definitely be worth it. The thing about this palace though is that it is an all-day experience, and people rarely fully believe me when I say this, but it is also kind of a miserable experience between the 2-hour round trip out of Paris, standing in line for up to and over an hour, getting through security, and then wandering through with a bunch of crowds to get through the palace. It turns into a whole day event. If you're in the mood for it, definitely make sure you come out fed and caffeinated before you get started. It's an experience, and it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's something magnificent to see. But really, personally, I would skip this unless you're here for 2 weeks. I've done this dozens of times. I hate it. I hate it out here. I'm not gonna lie. If I could never come back here again, I would be happy. There's so much walking to do, and it's usually just kind of like hot and sweaty and miserable, and you feel sore by the end of it. And really, what did you see? You could go to the Louvre to see better art. You could go to the Palais Garnier to see better architecture. You could just enjoy Paris for an extra day. Why come out here? That is the question. Do I think it's worth it? No. I personally would like to never come out here again. If you've never seen it before though, yes. I do remember the first time I came out here, there was a magical feeling, and it is overwhelming in a good way to some degree.
Also sitting down to have a little snack, and these prices, I think I might wait. I think I might wait till I get home. $16.50 for a quiche de Rennes, or $25 for a salad. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't in good conscience tell you to come here, because I would never come back here if I could help it.
All I need is you, baby, baby.
I often get asked if a boat tour would be worth it. And my answer is yes. However, you get what you pay for. I would definitely do a boat tour on the first or second day you get here. It's a really good way to see a lot of major monuments really quickly, and from the easy peasy seaty on top of a boat somewhere. Why not sit down and watch the world roll by? And I highly suggest you do it around sunset. You can do it twice even, once during the day, once during the evening, to see Paris by day and by night, because Paris looks very different and very beautiful in both circumstances. But either way, you're going to enjoy watching the city just slide on past. And hey, who doesn't like a boat ride? The one thing I will say, if you're thinking about getting dinner on a boat, is where you really get what you pay for. I wouldn't recommend it. I would definitely recommend going to parisinmypocket.com and grabbing my guide for good ideas on where to eat before or after you go on your boat cruise. But check and see if they sell champagne on the boat cruise. Take them up on it, or maybe sneak some on yourself. Have a cheeky drink as you watch Paris roll by, and have a grand old time. Definitely recommend it. But I would just go for the cheapest option and enjoy it for what it is, and leave it at that. Because you could either pay 19 euros or you could pay 1,000 euros depending on what you go for. You'll see it when you look it up online. It's the private boat tours get nuts. I haven't done one yet. Would love to do one. They're probably crazy. Anyway, moving on. That's not disconcerting.
All I need is you, baby, baby.
Thanks for watching Paris in My Pockets Is Paris Worth It Part 2. Make sure to go to parisinmypocket.com to get our guide, which is going to be going through some evolutions. You don't want to miss out. Grab a copy and yeah, you'll know what's worth it, what's not, and make the most out of your time, your trip here to Paris possible. And see you around for another video here very soon.